Hip Hop Gamer Show. What up? It's the one and only Hip Hop Gamer, Hot 97, BET, GameStop. You already know what it is, man. Now, this is very special for me doing this Gears of War Ultimate Edition review. The reason why it's special for me, because when Gears of War came out, I believe it was 2006, and when this game came out, you know, I wasn't, you know, a journalist. You know, nobody, the world didn't know who Hip Hop Gamer was, the industry, none of that. I wasn't doing this, you know what I'm saying? But I was always a hardcore gamer, and I remember picking up my copy of Gears of War, coming home, playing it on my Xbox 360, losing my mind. It was an amazing experience. You know what I'm saying? It was like one of those experiences where people felt like, wow, as much as I love Halo, as much as they love this, it's like Microsoft got a brand new franchise on a system that's gonna take it further than we ever imagined it'll go. Like, it was a monumental feeling playing my first ever Gears of War. So I'm gonna take it back to 2006 a bit and bring you up to 2015 and what we're experiencing now. So I played this game, I ended this game, and it's undeniable. You know what I'm saying? This game is one of the most amazing creative areas of the gaming world and gaming culture in terms of how they took the elements of a cover system, the elements of the locust and how they come from the ground, the elements of a partnership that you have with, you know, Baird and Dom and Coltrane and Marcus Phoenix, like the brotherhood of that, like all these elements and dynamics in the story, all of that came together for an amazing moment in gaming history. This game is iconic. So I just wanted to give you that brief speech to let you know how important Gears of War is to the entire gaming culture and gaming movement ever since it was first released. So a remaster of this game is beautiful, man. It's beautiful that this is here, that it has happened. It's something that Xbox One I felt needed to do. It's here. You can go get it and relive that moment right now. Now, let's get into the review and break down everything that makes the Ultimate Edition truly ultimate. Let's go. First off, we're going to start out with the graphics. Now, I'm not sure if you caught my live stream. My live stream is twitch.tv/Hot97 Hip Hop Gamer. I'm not sure if you caught my live stream when I played Gears of War Ultimate Edition. But one of the main reasons why people purchase remasters is to see how good it looks, how much better it looks from the old version of the game. I'm here to tell you, y'all know I'm a graphics whore, y'all know the type of TV I got, you already know what it is. Gears of War is probably the best remaster you can go and buy today on the market right now. Graphically, a game from 2006 coming out in 2015 remastered, and it looked like this. This joint look phenomenal, dude. Real talk, from the opening scene where you see like those locusts like on top of the cage looking at you and stuff like that, and then who is it? I think it's Dom. Yeah, I think it's Dom opens the door and you and Marcus and Dom and Marcus starts talking and you walk out. The texture detail. It's like the moment you walk out, you gotta see my reaction on my live stream, yo. You gotta go to past broadcast. And when you go there, it's like, yo, you looking at the textures like, damn. If you ever seen that movie Friday with Ice Cube and Chris Tucker, when you see these graphics, considering where we came from and where we at today, you're gonna be like, damn, just like that, for real. I was so blown away that this is a remaster. And I remember, you know, how the old Gears of War looked. So to see this like this, the metal on a body, You know what I'm saying? The special effects, everything, the bombs drop, frag grenades going, even the sound, like all of that, the movement, how smooth it is. Oh, graphically, this is a powerhouse, man. It looks amazing. Seriously, so character models, I mean, the attention to detail to the character models, the skinning, the skin tone, the details and the cracks of their skin, like all of that. And then on top of that, what they wear is what truly stands out. Like when you look at their gear, you can like really marvel at the design direction that the artist took when they just made the gear itself and how beautiful it looks today. Crazy. Environments, that's another thing. Gears of War got tall environments. Like there's a lot of areas you go to and you look up and you just see how big and tall it is. Now it's like big, beautiful, amazingly textured bricks, buildings everywhere, the debris, like even the little grass on the ground. Even when the locusts come from the ground and you see everything pop up, it's like, oh, you gotta make that face, man, like you ate 20 lemons, yo. It's crazy. So I love the way everything looks. Then the special effects, and I'm gonna give you an example what I mean. The hammer down, you know what I'm saying? When you gotta shoot the laser and the power comes from the sun and it like destroys some of the real big enemies. When that happened, it's like when you see all the, like you see the tearness, like how your flesh starts tearing. Like if you ever like lit like a piece of paper on fire and it starts to crumble and those edgy tarish looking parts, all of that comes to life so much more. And this remaster is crazy. And most of all, the chainsaw gun, when you chainsaw somebody in the ultimate edition, the way it look, you see they body, like it's the shaking of it, the blood, the way it come out. I was like, yo, graphically the game is massive, man. Massive. Like for a remaster, yo, like if this game like was, let's say this is the first Gears of War that ever came out, right? And it came out like that on Xbox One. Like, don't get me wrong, you know how powerful Xbox One is, but I don't even think people could like be disappointed if this was like a launch title for Xbox One, and it was and the old Gears of War never existed, and this was the first one you saw. You can't even be mad. That's how good the remaster looks. Like it looks up there, like it belongs in the realm of Xbox One games that was built from the ground up on Xbox One. Like it looks that good. So I'm blown away by the graphics. Next thing is gameplay. Incredible cover system. Now this is gonna be a mixture of me talking about my first ever experience with Gears as well as now. So you're thinking of 2006 and 2015 as I speak, so keep that in mind. Now with Gears of War, like that cover system, I gotta give a big shout out to this PS2 game called Kill Switch, because a lot of what you see in Gears of War when it comes to the cover system came from this game called Kill Switch. And I'm telling you, man, it's like when Nintendo 64 had the Rumble Pack, it was amazing because we had Rumble, you could feel your games more. But then when PlayStation 1 came with the DualShock, it was like, it wasn't the first time we had Rumble, but it was Rumble done to perfection, in my opinion. Like it was just a new way it was done, and it worked so great, still works great to this day. Like that format was just golden. That's what Gears of War did. For the world of cover systems, they made the cover system golden. It works and feels so good, and now with the Ultimate Edition, it's just that much better because everything is smoother, the way you see things. So because it's smoother, it makes everything you do look and feel smoother as well. It's the whole presentation of it. You see what I'm saying? So that's crazy. Then the run animation, I always loved the run animation, but now it feels like you can control the run animation more while you're running when you're moving side to side. But just that whole adrenaline rush when you're running, the graphics, the way it looks now, it's like, yo, I stay running. Like it just, the energy, man. I feel like I'm running back. Like when I'm running like that, it's crazy. Then the melee attacks, like I was telling you before. Now here's an issue. The first issue I will say about Gears of War Ultimate Edition, and not just Ultimate Edition, but Gears of War period, I always felt that the melee attacks was not really responsive. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times I could be like, the enemy is right here and I'm up on the enemy and I hit the button to chainsaw him or to melee him or whatever, and when I do it, it's like it don't hit him, and when I push it, it's like it don't react when I push it, so they get a chance to get out the way, and then they get behind you because there's no like lock-on system. So if they get behind you, you got to evade out the way. You can't just lock on them and turn automatically. So it makes it difficult, it makes it cheesy, and it makes it annoying, and it makes it frustrating, just because the melee attack has a problem with responsiveness to the controls. Like, you know what I'm saying? That right there is annoying. And it's messed up because one of the hottest parts of the game is when you do the chainsaw joint. So for that part to be annoying, it's like, you know what I'm saying? But it does work. It's just there's an issue with it, and that same issue exists with the Ultimate Edition. So that's a problem from a gameplay standpoint that I have with the melee attack and stuff like that. So that's my one issue and stuff like that. So it does work, but it needs a lot more polish to make it coincide with everything else in the game that do work properly, that do work great, that do work flawlessly. You see what I'm saying? So that's my one issue. Weighted movement. That's another thing that I love about this game, because you got so much gear on, but when you move, you feel that heavy weighted movement. You know what I'm saying? So every kill, everything you do feels that much more stronger. And it's more believable when you play it, because you're looking at a representation of how it feels in the controller. That is genius right there. I love that. Then another thing is shooting and blind firing all works well. What I will say is this: it's great as Gears of War is in the Ultimate Edition. I will say this: I wish that the shooting was a little bit more tighter. The reason why I say that is because the shooting is great. Don't get it twisted. The shooting is great in the blind firing, but I feel at times that the sensitivity in the analog sticks when you're trying to control stuff like that, it feels a little loose. It feels a little loose. Like it's missing that one piece of polish, that one piece of ingredient to just bring it that much more flawlessly. Like it could be a little bit more tightened up. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine if you're screwing something in a wall, or you're screwing something into somewhere, and like, you know how when you screwing it, you get like that extra like 2 or 3 twists to get it that much tighter. That's what this game needs when it comes to the shooting and the blind firing. That a couple of notches tighter, and this would have been that much more flawless in feel. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. The weapons is great. I mean, the Lancer, that's my joint. You know what I'm saying? The hammer down, how you could kill the berserker with it. You know what I'm saying? That right there is crazy. The shotgun is insane. The shotgun is insane in this game. Like, I love the shotgun, the sound of it, kickback, all of that. Shotgun is crazy and stuff like that. So I like that. They got some good pistols in this game too. Like, this game got great weapons, period. It always has, the whole series of Gears of War, in my opinion, always has some good, fun, amazing weapons that's very different from one another. So every time you pick up a weapon, you feel the gameplay changes. That's how good the weapons are, diverse and dynamic and different in impact. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's great. And I think the reloading mechanic was always cool within Gears of War, how when you reload, if you don't hit that little meter and stuff like that, it'll take you longer to reload, and the character will be like, damn, you know, because they're trying to reload fast. Now think about it. That makes sense, because in the heat of a battle, when you're trying to reload, you know, the faster you reload, the better, but you're human, so you can mess it up. So I love the fact that they have that. It's a nice little touch to realism in the game, even though it's a sci-fi type of title. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the presentation. From a presentation standpoint, the way they introduce the characters has always been phenomenal. And what I love about the game is that all the characters matter. Like, it's not like you only know or care about Marcus Phoenix. From the very first game, from the very first introduction of the game, there was a brotherhood there. You know what I'm saying? You know, they introduce you to who these people are so you could care about the team, not just one person leading a team. So I love the character presentation when it comes to making the gamer feel connected to him. I think that's amazing. And another thing about the presentation is the actual enemies. Like the way they introduce the Locusts. You know what I'm saying? You got this big legion like legion of people, you know what I'm saying? Well, not people, but aliens, whatever you want to call them, locusts. So you got the legion of locusts coming at you, trying to kill you, and there's such a difference in variety of locusts that makes the gameplay change dramatically as well as you progress. So I love how they introduce them, because it's like, wow, you hear like Marcus Phoenix and them talking about the locusts and the type of locusts that they about to run into and what you need to watch out for. Then when you see them, it's like, oh wow, look at them, they crazy. They was just talking about them. Oh. It like the energy is insane with that. Then another thing is the fact that the locusts come from the ground, like that whole Judgment Day idea. I just think that scheme is so genius, because when you look at the actual, you know, locusts and the way they look like they came from hell. Like they look like they came from down there. Everything just made sense, and that's what I love about games that have that good energy to it. Then another thing I want to talk about is the conversation. That's the main thing about the presentation, the conversation with the characters. Like you could be walking around and shooting stuff up, having a good time, and then somebody be like, shut up dickwad, I told you that yesterday. Or they'll be like, hey, so what you gotta do now? Hey, we gotta go around the corner. Like just that bond that happens during gameplay makes everything come to life, not just in cutscenes, but in your entire playthrough. That right there is crazy, and you learning as you go. I think that's phenomenal. So that's the presentation. Now let's talk about sound. Look, real quick, in terms of sound, every step, every shot, every voiceover, every ball drop, everything feels extremely atmospheric. Meaning that when you play in the game, there's gonna be times where you be like, you know, cause it sound that good. It's like, it's as if they really put a lot of polish on the sound to bring everything to life in this remaster that much more. You know what I'm saying? It's really good, really good. And then when you run into locusts and you about to fight, and then when you get that last kill and you go, to let you know that that scene is over. Oh man, it's beautiful, man. It's truly beautiful. And last but not least, the fun factor. You can't not have fun with this game. When you play a single player or multiplayer, the game controls very well. It looks amazing, and the things you could do in terms of the cover system and being able to evade and the blind fire and the melees, everything that comes together with this game is priceless, man. And because it's priceless, you need to go out there and definitely put a price to where your mouth is. Support the game. I think it's dope. Like I said, when I first played this game, you know, I wasn't in the industry. So now I'm able to actually share my first ever Gears of War review, which is actually an Ultimate Edition, but give you a walk through memory lane in terms of how it was when I first played it and how excited I am to replay it again, and it looks this beautiful. Alright? So yo, big salute to Microsoft, Xbox. This game is crazy. Gears of War is legendary. Shout out to Mark Rain, Cliffy B, the whole team, Unreal Engine. This has been a beautiful game to play and enjoy. Alright, so one love, God bless, your boy Hip Hop Gamer. Make sure you follow me, check it out. You already know what it is, man. BET, GameStop, Hot 97, and we are out.